Hello ladies and gentlemen, today we're talking about Path of Exile 2. What the best class to choose during the early access, what class you will like. I will explain everything in simple terms, what subclasses each class have and what you will feel, how the gameplay feels with these classes, right? Because this is the most important, will you love the class or not? My name is PLK, this is a channel about MMORPGs, multiplayer games, action RPGs, and you should consider to subscribe, because if you are the action RPG enjoyer or MMORPG enjoyer, or my community from Throne and Liberty, you will have a lot of fun on this channel. Let's go! So, as I said, we'll delve into the choosing the best hero to start with the early access of Path of Exile 2. As a reminder, in the full game it will be 12 heroes, each of them equipped with 3 unique subclasses. However, during the early access you will have access to the 6 heroes, each featuring 2 subclasses. Early access began on December 6, and somewhere until June or July we'll have early access and developers will add additional classes and subclasses to the game, and then it will be full release. So I will help you to choose and have fun during the early access. Let's go. So we have in the game ranged classes, melee, fighters, and the summoner class. The cool thing in this game, you have this huge passive tree of talents, and whatever class you will choose, you can use all of them, which means as the warrior, you can take a lot from the sorcerer and take gear of the sorcerer and make some super controversial cross-class warrior sorcerer or something like that. You know what I mean, right? So that is super cool. And also you have subclasses for each class. And subclasses are unlocked by completing specific challenges, 2 of which will be available starting from the Act 2. For example, starting as a sorcerer, you will first develop her main skill tree. Upon completing these challenges, you will choose an Ascension path, transforming her into either a Stormweaver or Chronomancer, each with a distinct approach to the combat, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. So let's talk about the classes. Warrior. Basically, Warrior from the Diablo 2 is a tanky melee hero, ideal for players who enjoy being on the front of the battle. Super fun to play, you can feel all of these damage and skills like up ahead, and Path of Exile 2 have really interesting and really interactive system of the movement for the action RPG. For example, I'm playing like an action combat game, like with keys, VASD, and you can dodge, you can block with the shield, you can do all of this stuff, and also using your skills, to build up momentum, stance, and do huge damage on the area. Because, in this game, which class is overpowered? Basically, in Path of Exile, all the classes are OP. But this is the question about feeling, which class you will love better. So Warrior is a typical Conan Barbarian with really huge maul or other two-handed or one-handed and a shield. So super interesting. And Warrior have 2 different subclasses. First one is Titan, a heavily armored fighter focusing on the raw power and defense. The Titan can block enemy attacks, including certain spells, using a shield unless it's unblockable, and it will be defined by a red flash around the enemy. So playstyle will be really durable and defensive, excellent for absorbing damage and controlling enemy aggression. You can do the shield walls, you can break all of this, and you can do a really big boom damage. And you have Warbringer. This subclass taps into ancient ancestral powers, summoning spirits and deploying cries and totems to bolster allies and destroy the enemies. So it's basically supportive tank, combining utility and melee dominance. Overall, this class considered super slow compared to other classes, but with the huge one-tap damage. Most of your skills are slow, most of your skills are really big damage. I mean, that's understandable, right? So, Warrior. Sorceress. Sorceress thrives in the ranged magical combat, harnessing the elements and time manipulation to overwhelm the enemies. It's also typical as the warrior for all action RPGs. You have warrior and you have a mage. This is the mage. You will do fire spells, ice spells, and thunder spells, electricity, magic. Ooh. So you're basically the glass cannon. Not super glass, but really cannon. You will see on your screen all of these spells and big booms from the fire blasts, and this game provides really good VFXs, the effects and visuals, so when you will ice your enemies, it will look really decent. So the playstyle is high damage, magic based, ranged caster, ideal for players who enjoy elemental combinations. And about elemental combinations, this is super fun mechanic. So if you have firewall and you shoot ice blast or electricity through that, all of the spells will take also the fire damage with it and combine to magic. So you can make ice, fire, electric damage spell something really cool, right? Now, what subclasses do you have? You have two of them, Stormweaver and Chronomancer. So Stormweaver, you will be this magician glass cannon with more attacks. Each spell can do additional damage with elemental magic. So you will have more fireballs, you will have more elemental type of the spells on the screens. It specializes in amplifying elemental damage and synergizing specific elements, granting bonus attacks on a certain skills. And Chronomancer, this is a super interesting thing. It's basically time manipulation, which means for us as a player, you will have a little bit different gameplay for this class, which is super cool as well. So manipulates time, using it to freeze enemies, reposition for optimal attacks, or rewind cooldowns and locations. So you basically can stop everybody, then shoot the meteor and come back to the previous location. Super cool, super interesting how you will use it with the cooldowns and all of this stuff. And the playstyle is highly strategic, caster focus on mobility and tactical combat. If you like mages, this is the class for you. The Ranger or Huntress. The Huntress excels in the ranging physical combat, using traps and precision shots to control the battlefield. One more time, typical Legolas from the Lord of the Rings, just shooting with the bow, doing really big numbers of damage, dodge with the skills and the dodge mechanics your enemies, and also use special wiles with potions, to destroy your enemies. So super fast, super good damage, not a lot of HP or fortitude or armor, typical agile class. And you have two subclasses as well. The first one is Pathfinder, masters of poison-based attacks by these potions, and deploys trap for calculated methodical takedowns. So the playstyle will be a technical and strategic approach, great for those who enjoy setting up traps and think about not just do big damage, but play a little bit more smarter, maybe funnier for somebody, right? Then the second one is Deadeye. It's basically prioritizing speed and area of effect damage to the rapid fire attacks and enhanced projectile. So you will have more arrows, more damage on your skills, the standard continuation of the range class. It will be fast-paced and dynamic, focusing on relentless offense, so huge damage. Now Monk, let's talk about Monk a little bit. It's a hybrid melee and magical fighter. The Monk uses mystical arts and elements powers for versatile combat. And you need to think because of this really cool mechanic. All of the passive tree of skills can be used by any class, right? So Monk have powers in warrior scenarios and magical scenarios as well. So maybe you can do really cool cross classes with the Monk. But Monk itself could do a lot of damage in melee. All the attacks are medium range at least, have really cool mechanics like drop the huge bell and hit it and do attacks around that. Looks pretty cool. It's not so glass cannon. It have a lot of fortitude, but also can do pretty decent damage with a specific build and have two different subclasses. Acolyte of Shyla, I think I pronounced it right. So transform into the Warrior of Darkness, dealing shadow damage and absorbing enemy attacks to unleash really huge strikes. Basically, the Monk become evil and the mana became the darkness power or whatever. And this class is really interesting to play with a huge damage and really fast-paced. The playstyle will be a mystical bruiser, excelling in dark theme melee combat. So if you're into this lore, this is the class for you. And the second one is Invoker. It's basically wielding elemental powers with ease, combining distinct elements to create a variety of effects. As I said, it takes a little bit more from the mages, from the gameplay of the Sorceress, let's put it like that, but have it distinct gameplay. So the playstyle with Invoker will be a flexible caster melee hybrid, suited for those who enjoy experimenting with the elementals. And it looks really interesting. It's like the airbender from the Avatar. Looks really cool. If you want to be the Ankh, this is the class for you. Now Mercenary. This is the unique class in this game, because in the Path of Exile 1 you didn't have anything like that. So what developers did, they tried to do something new and interesting in Path of Exile 2, so they added a Mercenary. The Mercenary is a resourceful hero, utilizing different things and FPS gameplay into the action RPG. I will explain. So the idea behind the Mercenary is this class can load different types of attack to the crossbow and then reload it when you want to. So you can have shotgun, you can have sniper rifle, you can have everything that you had in the FPS, and the gameplay is not like that, but kind of into the direction of the FPS. Super cool, super interesting. Logically, is this something like the huge damage without the really big fortitude class. And it has two subclasses. First one, Witch Hunter. It wields a crossbow along with the shotguns, grenade launchers and other weapons. Excels in a high damage bursts, particularly when it's on a low HP, while disrupting enemy formations. Imagine you have this Van Helsing with the grenades, with the shotguns, with different types of the attacks, and it's basically the action-adventure game on your screen. You're shooting with the projectiles, everything is booming, and it's super fun. The playstyle for it will be a risk-reward gameplay with the arsenal of tools for explosive damage. Super cool. Really interesting class. And you have Legionary. So this class assessed the plenty of skills with additional slots granted by passives. Skill gems gain enhanced effects, and higher quality gems significantly boost performance. It's basically not a subclass, it's a mercenary with additional buffed passives. Highly adaptable with the focus of optimizing skills, loadouts and versatility. So if you like just the mercenary gameplay, but you want to be bigger, more damage, more HP, and all of the passives and gems are much better, this is the class for you. I don't know how it will play it, but maybe it's super interesting. And the last one is Witch, Summoner in this game. So the Witch itself as a summoner have really cool mechanics. So you can summon different minions like skeletons, skeleton mages, warriors, different other skills will also use to, enhance this gameplay. The cool thing in this game, you don't need to pay attention to how many skeletons do you have on the screen, do you need to summon them or something like that. It will be done automatically by the game. So thank you developers for this. It's much more easier to play this class, much more fun, right? So you will have this horde of your minions on the screen, try to obliviate everything on the screen for you, and you also have your skills, right? Like the damage magic. So you have two different subclasses for the Witch. First one, Infernalist. So you enhance your magician gameplay with the fire spells, and you also can transform to the succubus. Really cool mechanic, looks decent actually, and allows you to unlimited skill use. The playstyle will be a relentless caster with infinite resource potential and devastating transformations. Ooh, super interesting. And you have the Blood Mage, which uses health as a resource, enabling powerful attacks and managing minions efficiently. So more damage, risk-reward, balance a little bit higher, super cool. So you're using your HP to make damage and spells, and you also have your horde of the minions. The playstyle will be high risk, high reward, with a strong emphasis on minion synergy and resource management. Balance. Cool. So a little advice for you how to choose the class that you will love to play in this game. This game is still in the early access. Even when it will be launched, the balance adjustments are expected a lot, right? So different classes will become best and then lowest during the weeks of the gameplay. So choose something that you love as the lore and the gameplay. If you prefer durability and defense, start with the warrior. Love magic and strategic ranged attacks? Try Sorceress. Enjoy precision and traps? Obviously, Ranger. Want a versatile hybrid combat and you okay with the Monk lore? Use the Monk. Like advanced weaponry and high damage and FPS, Mercenary. And crave chaotic, unconventional gameplay, embrace the Witch. So I hope this video helped all of the new guys here in Path of Exile 2 as myself. And if you like the video, please consider to subscribe. I really pay attention to statistics to this video because I need to understand, is Path of Exile 2 something that my community and you guys like you will be interested in? If yes, I will do more videos about different classes. I will see you next one, guys. Bye.